What's up, guys? Leatherneck Simulations recently released their Christen Eagle 2, and I've spent quite a bit of time flying it so that I could let you know what I thought of it in case you were on the fence about it. I wanted to get this out before the pre-sale ended, but seems there was what I'm going to call some miscommunications, and it seems it was released a week early, so much for that. The Christen Eagle 2 is a tandem two-seat biplane sporting a 200 horsepower engine. It is a prop plane built as an aerobatic sporting aircraft. It is a maximum speed of 210 miles per hour, cruise speed of 140 miles per hour, and a service ceiling of 17,000 feet. Now I'd like to start with a disclaimer that I am, in fact, not a pilot at all, but I do have pilot friends, so that pretty much makes me an expert on pilot and pilot-related things. The Leatherneck Simulations Christen Eagle 2 external model is beautiful. It comes with 27 various liveries. Let's take a quick look. For some reason, the Virtual Air Racing Series livery is my favorite. Those of you who know me might be able to spot why. The plane itself is really simple to start. Simply flip all the switches on. Turn on the fuel. Give it about 3 pumps to prime it. Close the canopy. Turn the key over to start. And just like that, you are ready to go. On the ground, the handling is also quite easy. Set the RPM to full forward and give it some throttle and add rudder inputs to turn. Takeoff is fairly simple. Slowly set your throttle to max power while adding right rudder to counteract the torque from the engine and keep the plane on the runway. At about 60 knots, the tail will lift off the ground, ease in a bit of pitch, and you should become airborne just like that. Now the flight model of the CE2 is quite impressive. In all of my testing, doing some rudimentary things like lazy eights, doing some stalls, and then doing some more complex things like snap rolls some spins. And hammerheads, which is pretty much where my aerobatic knowledge stops. The CE2 performs very much like real-life content that I can find online. The only time it started to act very strange was when I would reach the edge of the extremes, and in these cases it makes it hard to tell if it's a DCS limitation or a flight model limitation, because I've kind of seen this happen with other planes as well. Usually it involves me throwing around the stick and rudder pedals and trying to invoke movements that you probably wouldn't want to do in a real plane anyway. Now, I had talked to Leatherneck prior to doing this review and tried to get some insight as to not only why they created this module, but once it was created, if they ended up with any benefits to serve them for future modules. They explained to me that this module was very close to one of the developers, and while it was a plane of interest to him, they had all hoped that the module would bring a few things to DCS. One of those things is that it is an easy-to-learn aircraft. It's relatively easy to learn and fly compared to all of the other jets and planes found in DCS. And there's a large aerobatics community within DCS that would enjoy the plane, made specifically for this kind of flying that they enjoy in DCS. Additionally, it might bridge the gap between DCS and civil flight sims like FSX, X-Plane, and P3D, and get more exposure to DCS world from that community. Personally, I don't think that's a bad thing. And also, why not build something for the aerobatics community? I mean, they host a few events every year and thousands of people tune in around the world. So why not throw them a bone? Is that really so bad? One of the other benefits to this module is that the aerobatics knowledge gained in having to code their own flight model for the biwing. Since DCS does not support a biplane, Leatherneck had to code this all themselves. That knowledge alone to me is exciting because any company willing to invest time into something else to benefit future products gets my vote. Look at it this way. The next plane Leatherneck is going to release is most likely the Corsair. The plane has some interesting aerodynamics with its gull-wing design, and also its prop plane. So with new aerodynamic knowledge and prop plane knowledge, that will all transfer over and hopefully make the Corsair a much better module when it is released. I'm certainly getting off track here, so let's get back to the CE2. I do want to say that the only area of disappointment for me is the sound. To me, it just felt lacking. It didn't immerse me enough. I mean, the startup sound alone drives me absolutely crazy. This is the first thing you hear when you sit down in the module. It's the first thing that gets you immersed in the fact that you're going to fly this plane. Here, let's take a listen to the real-life sound. And now let's take a listen to DCS. Now, something about it. Its abrupt change from start to started really drives me crazy. It doesn't have that punch that you hear in the other video, and that's not the only one online I found with that kind of volume. Hopefully this can be fixed, or they have planned to fix it. Who knows, but unfortunately that was really glaring to me, especially since it was the first thing I noticed when I started it up. Now, I know a lot of you are against this plane. You guys have made it abundantly clear within the community, and I'm also fairly certain you're going to make it abundantly clear on this video. But look, where else can you have this much fun in DCS, flying in IFR conditions, in a plane not made for IFR conditions, and then sticking the landing in IFR conditions? Take a look. see what I mean? All jokes aside, if you're on the fence about this module, hopefully this helps you choose one way or another. And for me, I fully welcome it. I think it is a blast to fly. I will be flying it more often. And one of the things that I've always wanted to learn how to do, but never had a sim to learn how to do it, is actual aerobatics. So I look forward to studying up on that aspect of aviation and really digging in to see what I can do in DCS with the Christen Eagle 2. Remember to like and subscribe for notifications of future content, and I will catch you guys next time.